Tea in Two Realms. In the vast, ever-curious universe, sometimes the strangest of threads twist together in harmony. On one particularly peaceful afternoon in the rose-laced gardens of Windsor Castle, an event most curious and charming unfolded. One that would never be recorded in any official royal diary, yet would forever be whispered about in the folds of space-time. It was tea time, of course. The sky was an English painter's dream, blue-washed with gentle clouds swirling like cream in Earl Grey. A slight breeze played with the petals of blooming roses, and birds chirped in polite chorus, aware they were part of something rare. At the heart of the garden, sitting regally at a wrought-iron table adorned with fresh scones and porcelain cups, was none other than Queen Elizabeth II, poised and timeless in her royal blue. Across from her, perched on a delicately curlicate chair designed for someone of more familiar stature, was Rivet the Lombax, the brave, snarky, and sharp-witted freedom fighter from another dimension. Her armor had been polished, but her gloves stayed on. She never quite trusted unknown planets not to toss a surprise her way. Yet today she had no weapons at her side, only a cup of tea in one paw and an open heart shaped by curiosity.
Would you like another scone, Miss Rivet?
The Queen asked, her voice as calm and dignified as the windless lake beside the palace. She gestured gently toward the silver tray, garnished with shortbread and almond pastries. Rivet blinked once, then smiled.
Only if you're not saving them for a top-secret royal briefing.
The Queen allowed herself the smallest of smiles, just the corners of her mouth lifting, but her eyes twinkled with the mirth of someone who had heard a million jokes, yet still appreciated a new flavor.
Oh, I assure you, our briefings rarely come with such delicacies,
she said, pouring more tea into Rivet's cup.
They're more inclined toward cucumber sandwiches and stern expressions.
Rivet chuckled, ears flicking in amusement.
Yeah, I've had a few of those meetings myself, minus the sandwiches. Usually it's just a looming threat and some untrustworthy guy in a lab coat.
The Queen raised an eyebrow, curious.
You lead quite the adventurous life, then. Forgive me for saying so, but you don't exactly look local.
Not even close.
Rivet said, sipping the tea. Her expression softened.
But this is nice. Usually when I crash into a new dimension, I'm dodging lasers or running from something trying to vaporize me, not sitting in a garden with a monarch.
Well,
the Queen said, adjusting her gloves.
I've been known to break tradition, though I dare say tea with a visitor from another dimension is a first.
The two sat for a moment in mutual appreciation of the peacefulness. It was a remarkable contrast to their lives, one filled with duty, the other with danger, but both were bound by a similar thread, responsibility, in the will to keep their worlds from falling apart.
So,
Rivet said after another sip,
how do you do it?
Do what, my dear?
Stay so calm, so composed. You've got a whole planet looking up to you, and you just pour tea and ask how my day is going.
The Queen glanced toward the horizon, the afternoon sun casting long shadows on the grass.
I've found that a steady hand does more for frightened hearts than a loud voice. One cannot control the world, Miss Rivet, but one can offer it calm.
Rivet nodded slowly.
That's surprisingly deep. You sure you're not secretly part monk?
The Queen chuckled, a rare sound, light and honest.
No, though I've had the pleasure of meeting a few, and I dare say they never wore goggles or armor.
Rivet looked down at her gear.
Yeah, fashion's different in my world. Function over form, though I try to keep it stylish.
You manage quite well,
the Queen said, with the grace of someone who could compliment without condescension. There was a moment's silence again, but it wasn't awkward, it was full. The kind of pause that let both of them take in what this truly was, a collision of two realities, finding an unexpected moment of grace.
So,
the Queen continued,
what brings a brave Lombax across time and space to Windsor?
Rivet shrugged.
Dimensional instability. Long story short, a wormhole hiccuped, and boom, 1 minute I'm chasing a rogue warlord, the next I'm crash landing in your garden hedge. Your guards were very polite, by the way, only mildly alarmed.
The Queen smiled again.
They've grown quite accustomed to unusual visitors, ever since the corgis took a liking to that robotic dog who visited last Christmas.
Wait, you had a robotic dog visit you?
It was very well mannered, cleaned up after itself, most impressive.
They laughed again, and for a second Rivet forgot about the chaos waiting beyond this world.
You know,
She said thoughtfully.
you remind me a little of Clank,
Clank?
my, well, friend, teammate. He's a robot, but don't let that fool you. He's got more heart than most people I've met. Speaks softly, but always says something worth hearing.
I'm flattered to be in such company.
Yeah,
Rivet said, eyes warm.
you two would get along.
They shared another scone, and Rivet leaned back in her chair.
You know, I used to think there was no room in my life for stuff like this. Tea and talking, quiet moments, but I think I was wrong.
It's in the quiet that we remember who we are,
The Queen said.
and who we wish to be.
Rivet nodded.
You ever wish to be anything else?
The Queen didn't answer right away. She looked out across the rose bushes, where a bee hummed lazily through the air.
Sometimes, when I was a girl, before the war and the crown, I thought of being a dancer or a mechanic.
A mechanic?
Rivet grinned.
Now that I'd love to see.
Perhaps in another life,
The Queen said, tilting her cup to her lips.
but I've no regrets. I've seen the world change 1,000 times, and somehow, here we are, still sipping tea.
Just then, the air shimmered. A quiet ripple passed over the grass, and Rivet's instincts twitched. A rift, the kind that meant her time in this tranquil place, was ending. She stood slowly.
Looks like the universe is calling me back.
The Queen stood as well, steady, dignified.
Then I won't keep you, but I shall miss your company.
Rivet gave a half bow.
Same here, Your Majesty, and thanks for this, for showing me that calm doesn't mean weak.
The Queen stepped forward and placed a hand gently on Rivet's shoulder.
And thank you for reminding me that courage often wears strange armor.
With a final nod, Rivet stepped toward the flickering tear in space. But before she vanished, she turned back.
Oh, and tell the corgis I said hi.
The Queen's laughter followed her into the rift. And somewhere in the multiverse, the scent of English roses drifted through a place that remembered when two unlikely souls found common ground over tea and scone.